What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. And not a lot going on. I don't know that we'll find anything to do today. Obviously, it's Christmas on Thursday. New Year's the following Thursday. It's going to be quiet, but we'll obviously look and see. Certainly, we could look at the euro currency right now if we wanted to do so. So we'll see if that'll trigger a trade. It's a very quiet market, very challenging, but we will look at the euro currency and see if that does anything for us. But really, there's not much else here going on. Very quiet. And again, we're not going to force anything. So markets are rallying after they were higher, then they went lower. Now they're higher again. So certainly you can take the euro currency if you would like. Okay, that's up to you. Stop would be at 118.30. But again, I'm not really overly impressed with anything right now. I think the action kind of sucks. So we'll look and we'll see. Let's take a look at the regular board as we have a trade on. And again, I don't expect much today. Apple you would be looking to sell put spreads. Now, personally, I am not going to do anything. Okay, I am, other than this today and next Tuesday, I'm basically off for the year myself. Again, this is typically the time of year that professional traders take it off. And me being a professional trader, there's usually not much to do after the triple witching expiration. So, but Apple would be one I'd look to sell put spreads in. Amazon, nothing to do. Let's go back and take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so not much going on. And again, there's no volume here, so there's no real reason for me to want to get overly involved here. Coin would certainly look to sell some put spreads here. We all know what's going on with Bitcoin. It's been under some pressure. Crowd, potentially look at selling some put spreads here as well. Ether, nothing to do. Meta, nothing to do. I'd be more closer to selling call spreads here. Google did exactly what we thought, and there's right now in mid-range, nothing to do. INOQ, certainly would look at selling some call spreads here. IWM, nothing to do. MP, nothing to do. So you can see a lot of this is pretty consistent, that there's pretty much of a lack of activity. But certainly, again, if you're interested in making some trades, Microsoft, nothing to do. Monster certainly would look to sell some put spreads if I were going to do anything. Again, I do have positions in a lot of these anyways in my regular account. So that I hedge. We do a lot of hedging. So certainly, again, but I'm not going to initiate new positions. Nothing in Netflix. Nothing in NNE. Nugget could be a sell some call spreads if you want. NVIDIA, looking to sell some call spreads here potentially. Palantir, looking to sell some call spreads here as well. QBTS, looking to sell some call spreads. So the big rally that we've seen. But again, honestly, I'm personally not getting too involved here. I have some big positions on. Which are hedged through my equity portfolio stuff. But, we are short right now. The euro currency, if you're in with me, I don't know if you are or you're not. It's about even, a little bit of a loser at the moment, but not much. There's not much going on. I don't see a lot to get excited about right here. I think it's a challenging market. It's very quiet. The Qs, nothing for us to really do. SMCI, certainly I'd be looking to sell some put spreads here. The SPY, not quite, getting close to sell some call spreads. It's right on the cusp of breaking out. Interesting. We have not made a new high yet, but it's getting very close. So we'll see how that ends up here. XYZ, nothing for us to do. Tesla, I'd be looking to sell call spreads if anything. Okay. Win, nothing to do. XBI, I'd be looking to sell call spreads. XLE, which I never trade, but if you do, I'd probably be looking to sell some put spreads. And Zoom, nothing to do. So it's pretty quiet. And again, I'm not looking to build any real positions right now. Again, because of the holidays, the quirk, the lack of volume. And even if I went to next week, again, the real question you have to ask yourself, do you want to be involved through the holidays? I personally do not. So I'm going to go ahead and check it out. And again, like I said, I'm here, but I will day trade if there is something to trade. And we traded this morning and had a couple of, trades that were a little bit off the grid that I wouldn't normally take, but we were here, so I did take them. And we just took the euro currency, which is slightly profitable at the moment. But again, it ain't closed, so it's not profitable yet. Okay. But at the end of the day, I think you just have to be patient. And the biggest thing I think in trading is learning to say no, learning to step aside. And you know what? Sometimes it just makes sense not to get involved. And I think that's, one of the things I think that you have to learn, and it takes time to learn, but there are times when it just doesn't pay because you're really exposing yourself to more risk than necessary because of the lack of action in the market. So as we watch this, there's really nothing triggering of excitement. There's nothing really for us to get excited about. So again, we'll watch and we'll see if anything does show up. But based on what I'm watching, I would find it hard to believe that we'll see anything really to do because the degree in which they're moving is not very sharp. And again, if we're playing off the emotions of others, which is exactly what we're trying to do, this is a very non-emotional market right now. Okay, it's just kind of whipping around in not a very big range. I mean, if you look at the range in the S&P, 35 points, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much. Okay, we're up near the highs right now in the S&P. So again, we'll see. We'll watch and we'll see. But again, I don't have a lot to give you. If you have any questions, feel free to fire them in. That's always welcomed. If you have something to say, love to hear it and love to help you if I can. And anybody who wants to try our new newsletter as my guest, you're welcome to do so. It's called The Pulse, The Pulse of the Pit. Gives you some news stories and every day, and it gives you my daily recording, so you can check that out. You shoot me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. Move your stop and your euro currency to break even. If you took the trade with me, we're not going to let it get away from us. We'll take it worse break even. But again, certainly from looking at the chart standpoint, I might consider selling. But again, I'm not really all that excited here of getting too overly involved. I think that sometimes we force ourselves into trades that are not very good, and we're depending on too much outside clarity to get the market to work in our favor. And I think that's one thing that you have to learn in general, is to keep yourself, keep your powder dry when there's nothing really to do. And I think that's the bigger story here. There's really just not a lot of action. Okay, you're probably out of the euro currency if you took it with a small profit or a break even, either one. But did not drop as we would have thought it would have done when we sold it. The pattern in the Bitcoin would have been good, but again, it wasn't enough volume for us to trade it. But that's exactly what we're looking for: an ability to sell into a spike up about 3 standard deviations from the mean, looking for a pullback. Unfortunately, we don't trade that. But again, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that the real point is if you're putting yourself in the best position all the time, then it really doesn't matter. Okay, you're playing probability. That's all. And right now, I mean, there's really no advantage to probability as we rotate around the mean in most of these markets. There's really no real advantage for us to get involved. I don't think you should trade with the opinion. I think you should trade what the market dictates and tells you what to do. And right now, the markets aren't telling me much of anything. I think the markets are just hanging out. Yes, they're working a little bit higher, but they're not going with any force or any speed. So at the end of the day, why bother? Again, you can get lucky, you can guess, but I think it's always better to wait for what you're looking for. And one of the keys in trading is to master a couple of good skills. One of them being the blow-off trade, because that's one that happens in anything, and it doesn't matter what the future or the equity is, you can trade it. And right now we don't have much of anything, so we just have to be patient and wait. And we'll see. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt we'll see anything, but again, I can't predict the future. And again, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. This is a good time to, if you have any questions of what we're doing or how we're doing it, certainly this is a good time to do that. And at the end of the day, we sit and wait and watch, and certainly if you sold an Nasdaq, I couldn't fault you. I wouldn't, but I couldn't fault you. I think this is the time that, again, it's a big challenge when there's nothing going on here. Again, we can't really grab an edge because of the lack of activity, and that's one of the big things that we're trying to get the advantage. And maybe crude can rally another 10 cents or so and give us some buy-in. Maybe it'd be a trade we'd look at. But you can see the lack of speed to the market. And of course, if you're playing off of somebody else's emotions, you need them to panic or to puke so that they give you an advantage. And we're not getting that right now. So, I don't see anything really worth trading at the moment. But we'll check it out for another few minutes and see if anything shows up. I would tend to doubt it because, of course, you can all see what's going on and the lack of action in the market. So without price action, it's hard to get or want to get overly involved. And if you're looking back, this might have been a sale in the Dow future potentially. This might have been a sale in the Nasdaq potentially. This might have been a buy. Again, I didn't make the trades. I made some of them, but I typically don't talk about trades I didn't make. There's a potential buy in the Russell. Again, I didn't make those trades, so I'm not going to tell you that they were good or bad. I'm just looking at the overall pattern as we wait here and search. Crude getting closer to being something potentially. And I'm going to drag over. I have a trade assist model that is triggering a potential sale in crude oil. Okay. So again, I think this is a higher risk trade than many of you may want to take. I'm going to go ahead and take it myself. Okay. And again, I'm not encouraging you to do so. If you do take it, your stop should be at 58.67. Okay. Again, they're not the greatest, but it is from a math model. We are 3 standard deviations away from the mean, which is about a 90% probability that you'll get some retracement. So does that mean you will? No, doesn't mean anything. You're playing once again, it's a straight probability trade. Actually, in the volume is kind of light, so it really doesn't fit our blow off. All it really fits is the math model that we trade, which you can see here. It's a purple bar, which means it's a sell. Blue bar is a buy. So that's what we have in our trade assist model. And if you took the trade, you're up a tick or two. You're rich. You're rich. You can even go to Starbucks and buy a cup of coffee. And now you're back stuck. You're down way, but even, I guess. I don't know. Here you can see it's triggering again. It's triggering again. Now you are getting a little bit better volume here, so this may be a better idea here. So let's flip over to the 1 minute and see if it does trigger. I've already got it on, but maybe it'll trigger it again. You see silver hit over 70 bucks. It's over 70 bucks right now. Look at that. Huh. Look at platinum. Up 169 bucks. Wow. Okay, so the entry would be about the same as you had last time if you wanted to take it here. I'm not that happy with it. I'm debating on whether to take a tick and get the hell out of here and get the hell out of this trade. Again, I'm not all that excited about what's going on here. I think it's rather dead. So we'll see. We'll watch for another minute or two, see if it comes out to anything. But there's really not much to do here. You know, not exciting, as many of you see. S&P's on its highs. Dow close to the highs. But very little action. Very little to do. So, all right. Well, everybody have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holiday. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrated that. Remember, I do the market 120 every day. And of course, check out the Pulse of the Pit. If you want to check it out, let me know. And to all of you, have a great holiday. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next Tuesday for Trading Live with Bubba.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.